Hello, this is a short video which goes over all the steps that you have to take whenever you want to transcribe a word in the International Phonetic Alphabet. So these are the steps that you will need to take whenever you get a word that you have to transcribe, whether for your assignment or a quiz or on the exam. So there are three main steps. First of all, you have to divide the word into the segments that you're going to transcribe. And you know that the IPA has one symbol for every sound. So you're going to have to find out first how many sounds a word has. Second of all, you will have to identify all of the consonants in a word. And you will have to find out what articulatory properties those consonants have in order to find the right symbol. So you will have to find out the voicing of the consonant, the place of articulation of the consonant, and the manner of articulation of the consonant. And finally, you will have to also figure out the vowels. So the most important thing is how many vowels and which vowels there are. So let's go over each of the three steps in detail. Segmentation. There are two ways to segment a word, and you will need both of them to really help you with transcription. First of all, you will want to know how many syllables the word has. And syllables are the rhythmic units of speech. So you can hear the rhythm of speech based on syllables. And in order to identify the syllables, we all intuitively feel generally how to divide the word into syllables. But to help you, you can try clapping while saying the word. So clapping, this word will have 2 syllables. You can try and hum the word. So clapping sounds like Okay, and again, you know that you have 2 syllables in this word. And once you have the syllables, you know that each syllable will need at least 1 vowel. It is the vowels that give speech its rhythm because they are so much longer than consonants. Once you have the number of syllables, you know how many vowels you need. You're going to also have to figure out how many individual segments there are, individual sounds. And when we describe this speech sounds in phonetics, we use articulatory features. So we describe the sounds by how they are pronounced. And that's how you identify them in the IPA as well. So what you need to do is you have to figure out how many different positions of the mouth you're making in order to produce the word, or how many different articulations. So for example, we'll take the word unification as our example. It's a nice long word. So first of all, how many syllables in this word? Unification. Unification. 5 syllables. Okay, and how many segments? For each syllable, try to say it very slowly, and you will see that your mouth changes inside the syllable. So the first syllable is you. You. And you can hear there are 2 segments. The second syllable is ne. ne. You can hear that there and feel in your mouth that there are two different segments. So for each of the 5 syllables, we know that there is at least one vowel. And then here we have you, one consonant in the first syllable, ne, one consonant in the second syllable, fe, one consonant in the third syllable, and then k, one consonant in the fourth syllable, and finally shen, which gives us 2 consonants, sh and n. So now we have the word divided into syllables and segments. We know how many vowels and how many consonants we need. And the next step is to figure out which vowels and consonants we put into this rough skeleton of a word, if you want, or a template. So let's start with consonants. You know that there are 3 features that we use to describe consonants or identify consonants in the IPA, and that's voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. So first of all, voicing. Voicing is when you produce a consonant together with voice. So for example, for the sound there is nothing happening in your larynx. There is no voicing. Your vocal folds are not doing anything. But for the sound you can hear that the vocal folds are moving. We produce the sound with voice. Second question, place of articulation, or in other words, where in the mouth the sound is made. And for you can feel that it's your lower lip touching your upper teeth. So this is where we make the constriction for this consonant. And that tells us that the place of articulation of is labiodental. When you say k, you can feel the back of your tongue touching your soft palate. And that tells us that the place of articulation of k is velar. And finally, we have to define the manner of articulation of our consonant. And for this, you have to find out how close the articulators are together. So you know already what the passive and the active articulators are. For example, in the sound f, you know that the active articulator is the lower lip and the passive articulator is the upper teeth. And how close are they together? They're fairly close, but the air is moving out. It's making this hissing sound. So we know this is a fricative. For k, you can feel that the back of your tongue, your active articulator, is touching the soft palate, the passive articulator. So the air is completely stopped. That's why we know that it is a stop. Or for a sound like w, the articulators are the lips, but we don't touch the lips together. It's not a stop. We don't make a very narrow constriction like for a fricative. No, we let the air pass out continuously. W. And so we know this is an approximant. So how will that work with our example word? Unification. We know that the first syllable has the consonant y. And for y, you will feel that the middle of your tongue, the center of your tongue, is moving up towards the hard palate. So the place of articulation of this sound is palatal. We also can feel that we produce it with voice, y. And we can also feel that the center of the tongue is not touching the hard palate. And it's not even very close to the hard palate. Rather, the voice is coming out continuously. So y is a palatal approximant. Or if you think about the last syllable, for this consonant, this is a sh. And when you say sh, you'll feel that there is no voicing, nothing is happening in your larynx. So it's a voiceless sound. Sh. You'll feel the tip of your tongue moving towards your alveolar ridge behind your teeth, but it's not fully touching. It is very, very close. It's making a hissing sound. So it is a fricative. So this is a voiceless post-alveolar fricative. Shh. Okay, so we figured out all of the consonants of the word, and now the last step we need to take is to find out what the vowels are. The first thing to remember is that if you have a long word like unification, some of the syllables are going to be very, very short. And in those syllables, the vowel is also going to be very short. And that means that in English, it will always be either a schwa, a, or an e, a short e. So with the unstressed short syllables, we already know what vowel it's going to be. But then we're left with a couple more vowels in the syllables that we pronounce fully. So the first thing to listen for is how many vowels in that syllable? Is it just one vowel, a monophthong? Or is it two vowels, a diphthong? Or three vowels, a triphthong? Once you figured that out and you know how many vowels you're going to need, try to think of other words that sound similar in terms of the vowel. So here, in the first syllable, we have the vowel U. And it really sounds like the same vowel as in the word you. So we know this is the back high rounded vowel. Then we have two short syllables, which will have the short E, nefe, and then we have the syllable K. And when you say K, you'll feel that there are two different vowels, A. And it's two vowels, it's a diphthong, the same as in the word hey or play. So in this way, we transcribe the entire word, and you can see that if you start with the frame, if you start with the template of a word, then you just fill in the individual bits. And if you get stuck, you just leave that, you put the things that you do know that you're sure of, and then at the end you can come back to the sounds you weren't sure of. And one last, final, important thing. Always read your transcription back to see if it really sounds like the word that you meant to transcribe. Go ahead, you can go and practice this, and good luck.